Hello, Nick Taylor here. I'm just checking I make those. I'm checking that they're not. I've got to wear special glasses to so I can see more detail than I normally could. Government department, or I think it might have been a shipping company actually, and my job was to do the filing, and this was before computers had really kind of taken over everything, and their filing system was massive. Well, it was basically a walk-in safe like they have in banks. It was about the size of a small kitchen. Not small kitchen, it's about the size of a big kitchen or a small bedroom, but you know, it's like quite a big room. And the files that they had were these sort of, what they call manila folders, not manila folders, they're these filing boxes about so big, about that so wide. You've seen them before probably. And they had, what they'd done is they put these files into this walk-in safe, so they lined all the walls like that, all the way up to the ceiling, and then they'd run out of room and they just built back from the built forward in the back. So the entire room was just solid paper. It was just like these solid wood boxes, and my job was to get a request for a file from somebody, go in and like pull these things out and sort of tunnel into where I thought they might be, and like make piles of like files outside, and so on. And it wasn't very efficient, to say the least. But what was interesting about that wasn't the weirdness of the filing system. It was that the building was right in the middle of the CBD in Wellington. It was one of these big towers. I don't think it was the BNZ building, but it was quite posh, you know. And this was like an entire floor of prime real estate, right in the middle of CBD in Wellington, like capital city. And the entire floor was empty, apart from this safe where the files were, and a little old couple who sat in the middle of this like big empty kind of space, two desks facing each other, and they would sit there and drink cups of tea and read the paper and just sort of chat to each other all day, and nobody knew who they were or what they did. Which I think is quite funny, really. And there's actually been like 3 or 4 different jobs I've done where that's happened, where there's people who've sort of made these niches for themselves where they get like, you know, a wage or a salary or whatever, but they're not actually doing anything. And I used to think it was a 1970s thing, but a couple of years or 5 ago, David Graeber, who I hold in very high regard, wrote a book called Bullshit Jobs, and according to David Graeber, about 40% of us are doing jobs that we don't actually think suit any particular purpose, which is quite a lot. And I think he's probably right. And that's without getting into things like corporate lawyers. You know, the reason Company A needs a corporate lawyer is Company B has a corporate lawyer. If the lawyers in Company A and Company B, that somebody had a rapture of corporate lawyers, they all disappear at the same time. There'd be no need to like replace them. Maybe. But anyway, 40% is actually quite a lot. Like if you went up in a drone or a helicopter or something and looked down on San Fernando Valley in rush hour, the cars, like about half of them don't need to fucking be there. And that's like repeated in every city in the world. Like New Zealand, believe it or not, has got the most congested traffic in the world. You know, we drive slower and most of that is due to Auckland, and most of that is like due to the fact you can't get fucking car parking space anywhere. So, you know, it's like at any given time, about 70% of the cars in central Wellington or Auckland are just cars driving around in circles trying to find a parking spot.